Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. And today we are discussing the hostilities between Pakistan and India. Now, look, we had produced content earlier talking about the possibility that there would be a military conflict between Pakistan and India. And sure enough, it has occurred. India has launched airstrikes, missile strikes against targets deep inside of Pakistan, including areas outside of the aforementioned zone of conflict in Kashmir. The Indian Air Force attempted to and did strike targets in Pakistan proper, other provinces outside the realm of the conflict zone in which there were terrorist attacks against the Indian civilian population. So India struck a number of targets inside of Pakistan. India reports that, or states that, these targets were not quote-unquote military targets. More likely than not, they were targets that were sponsored possibly by the Pakistani intelligence service, the ISI, or India believes that. Now, Pakistan denies that. Pakistan denies assisting these Islamic terror groups that operate inside of India, specifically Jammu and Kashmir. India disagrees and obviously has launched military operations against Pakistan. Now, over the past 24 hours, Pakistan has declared that they have shot down a number of Indian Air Force warplanes. And at the same time, Pakistan has provided some evidence that would indicate that indeed they have shot down these Indian aircraft. Now, at the same time, India is also acknowledging that quote-unquote aircraft have crashed inside of India. So what is the challenge? Why are these Indian aircraft being shot out of the sky? Well, we know that the initial strike that was launched by India, the intent was not to have Indian aircraft flying over Pakistan. The intent for India was to launch long-range missile strikes. They have acquired some long-range Israeli weapon systems, such as a variant of the Rampage and other missile systems that can reach out and strike targets deep inside of Pakistan, including the BrahMos, were also used in this strike. Now, India, on its part, believed that if it launched these missiles inside of India, that its aircraft would be relatively safe. The challenge for India, if it launches aircraft into Pakistan, is the very robust air defense network that exists inside of Pakistan, and compounding that is the Pakistani Air Force. Pakistan is able to very quickly vector F-16s, JF-17s, to those Indian aircraft. India does not have stealth aircraft. Usually, if India is going to launch an airstrike, a traditional airstrike with, say, laser-guided or GPS-guided bombs, they're going to use a fourth generation. They're going to use a Mirage 2000. They're going to use newly acquired Rafales, or they're going to use Su-30 MKIs, all of which Pakistan can see very, very well before they cross the Pakistan-Indian border. And that's the problem for India. But India was mitigating this by launching these missiles before they crossed the line of control, the shared border of Pakistan and India. Now, what Pakistan has in terms of capability are very advanced ground-based air defense radar systems. For instance, Pakistan operates the Lockheed Martin AN/TPS 77 air defense radar system. This radar system you see in front of you has the ability to see hundreds of kilometers inside of India. So Pakistan, as India launches their aircraft sorties against Pakistan, and they don't even have to cross the border, they can be operating in Rajasthan, they can be operating in Punjab, Pakistan will still see them. Now, if you have a military operation underway and Pakistan believes that these Indian aircraft are launching long-range missiles against targets inside of Pakistan, Pakistan has the ability to target those Indian aircraft even if they are inside of India, even if they are many miles inside of India. They do that. Obviously, the Pakistanis have F-16s. They have more advanced versions of the American AMRAAM. They have long-range Chinese beyond visual range missile systems. India also possesses advanced Chinese air defense missiles with very long range in the neighborhood of S-300s and S-400s. They have that capability. So again, Pakistan can clearly see what India is doing with these long-range radars. Now, on the part of India, unfortunately for India, India does not have a very capable SEAD, which is the suppression of enemy air defenses. Their primary mode of SEAD operations is the use of the Su-30 MKI. Those Su-30 MKIs, again, massive radar cross-section. These are Russian-made Su-30s that have been modified for Indian use. The weapon systems that India has on those Su-30s, their range is limited in terms of the counter range that Pakistan possesses. So India, to suppress those Pakistani air defense radars, would get into the fire envelope of Pakistan's air defense missile network. The HQ-9 exceeds the range of the Indian suppression or anti-radiation air missiles. So very difficult situation for the Indians, and that is why they launched these strikes inside of India, where they did not have to launch these suppression of enemy air defense operations, which, again, that capability is marginal at best. The air defense capability of Pakistan is far greater than India's ability to counter those air defense radar systems. It would be very, very difficult for India to launch an air operation to target those Pakistani radars. Very difficult. And thus, that is why you saw the strike package that India used. Predominantly long-range air-to-ground missile systems. Now, right now, Pakistan is reporting that they shot down, I believe it was 3 Rafales, 1 to 3 Rafales, French-made Rafales. Pakistan is also alleging that they shot down 1 MiG-29 and 1 Su-30. There's also a possibility that an Indian Jaguar was also downed, which could lead to about 6 Indian aircraft shot down. Again, these are initial numbers. Obviously, all that would have to be confirmed. There's been some debate about the possibility of Pakistan using old footage of Indian crashes to verify their shoot downs of Indian aircraft. So, again, early stages of what is happening. But it does look like that there is a possibility, based on some of the documented footage that Pakistan displayed, that at least one Indian Rafale was indeed shot down. But again, very difficult for India to operate over Pakistan at this point with aircraft. Their only recourse is to launch these long-range missiles across the border from India into Pakistan. But again, even then, Pakistan has the capability to shoot those Indian aircraft down. Now, I got to tell you, just based on the information that we have in terms of discussions and conversations, the Pakistani Air Force is probably more proficient than the Indian Air Force. The Pakistani Air Force has the American F-16. They have the Chinese JF-17. India uses a variety of aircraft, and I at this point believe that probably hurts the Indian Air Force. The Indian Air Force operates a hodgepodge of aircraft, ranging from older Russian aircraft to newer French aircraft. And that sort of operation, where you have a multitude of aircraft, where you have to supply parts and you have different training methods, you have different capabilities, that is very tough to operate with at times. And right now, at least on the surface, in terms of what we are initially hearing, in terms of the very real possibility that Pakistan may have shot down quite a few Indian aircraft, it really exposes the Indian Air Force. And again, the proficiency level of the Pakistani Air Force is actually very high. Pakistan has operated with the United States. It has operated with the Chinese. It has a long history of using the F-16. It has had the F-16 for many years. Remember, the Indians have only had the Rafale for a very short period of time. It was like a year or two. So it takes time for these pilots to become proficient in these weapon systems. And Pakistan has these legacy systems in which a multitude of generations of Pakistani pilots have had the opportunity to fly these aircraft. And not only that, they have trained with other nation states as well using these aircraft. So I would say on the surface, the Pakistani Air Force is probably more proficient than the Indian Air Force. And I think in all probability we're seeing that in terms of what is happening right now in the air over Pakistan and India. Now the question is what is going to be the response from Pakistan? Could the response from Pakistan be mitigated because of the losses, or if India truly lost that amount of aircraft? If they lost a half a dozen aircraft, 3 of which may have been Rafales, does that send a signal? Or is Pakistan looking to strike back? Are they going to go after Indian air bases? Are they going to target the Indian military in a revenge strike? 24 Pakistani civilians were killed. That's what Pakistan is saying. That's what Pakistan is announcing. So difficult to say at this point, but this is a very dangerous situation. And again, it will be interesting as the days and weeks We will continue to look at just what happened. What happened to the Indian Air Force? Did India lose a half a dozen aircraft in this operation? Or is it maximalist claims by Pakistan? And maybe no Indian aircraft were shot down. It does appear, based on evidence, that at least one Indian aircraft was shot down. But again, Pakistan is claiming about a half a dozen. So difficult to say at this point. But again, the inability of India to launch suppression of air defense operations, combined with Pakistan's acquiring of advanced air defense radars that can see deep inside of India. Not only that, they have airborne radar systems as well. Now, India has its own indigenous capacity, but again, are they anywhere close to the quality that you would get from a Lockheed ANTPS 77? No, absolutely not. This is a very good radar system. And Pakistan has it, India doesn't. And for India to reach out and touch this system, it's very difficult. Seed operations are very difficult, requiring technology and training. And unfortunately, India's seed operation is probably subpar in regards to Pakistan's air defense capability. And I think we may have seen that raise its ugly head in the early stages of this conflict. So we will continue to monitor the situation as always. Thank you for joining us. More to come very, very soon. Good day.